Yo guys, we back and today we are investigating the mystery of the infamous Stanley Meyer's water power car. This has been going around conspiracy circles for a lot of while. And let's just investigate if his claims actually hold true. If it's actually like a free energy powered car that actually existed.
Run on oil-based fuels, or that you've been told a lie this whole time. What if it was a big cover-up because the people in power wanted you to keep buying fuel? And what if watered power cars already exist, just that the people in power wanted to keep you in the dark about it for their own agenda? Well, today we'll be taking a look at the mysterious circumstances surrounding the death of a man who claimed to have invented the water.
Yeah, like if there's any advancement towards free energy, that dude always ends up dead. Like same thing with Nikola Tesla when he was trying to make advancements in free energy. They cut the funding, and there's mysterious cases, there's mysterious doubts regarding his death itself. So anybody who's strive to make advancement in free energy always makes the same fate. They always end up dead.
Powered car. Rumors have always been floating around that there is a single elite group of people in charge of the whole world, controlling everything from the food you consume to the things you watch. But that's just the thing. It has always been rumors. Never once was there any real proof. However, today's story might just shed light on what has been going on in the
100% the world doesn't want us to have free energy. If the world knows about free energy, they can't control governments loses its powers and they can't impose control on us. Like if free energy was actually revealed to the public.
shadows. Well, you see, with the way the economy is nowadays, I don't think I'm alone when I wish cars would just run on the most abundant liquid on Earth. But the difference here is that this man actually did it. Born in 1940, Stanley Meyer was sort of a prodigy, and ever since a young age, he had been building and creating things. To give you context on how much of a genius this guy is, he ended up applying for 200,000 patents throughout his lifetime, with the patent office putting him on a fast-track program in 1989 that allowed him to have priority when it came to approval of his patents. That was 9 brand new ideas every other day, and well, he still somehow managed to squeeze in time to work on the Gemini space program with NASA, where he developed
Gemini space program. Okay, now I'm a little skeptical. Okay, bro. The reason for my skepticism is that if this dude actually and there's a lot of like footage on this dude actually explaining how this car works, and if this is actually invented a car that runs on water, YouTube would have taken that shit down years ago. I'm also heavily skeptical. Also especially his ties with NASA, and also very strange.
technology that was leaps ahead of its time. And even though the majority of his initial work was solely funded, in 1993, Stanley won the award of Best Inventor and received support from countries like Canada, Sweden, and even England. And it's important to understand that countries would have done their due diligence before throwing money at someone in the name of supporting them. Am I right? Even though the majority of his patents were accepted by the patent office, today we just want to focus on one specific one, the one that could have cost him his life, the patent of the water-powered car. Well, you see, the reason behind this patent was that in 1975, Saudi Arabia cut the oil supply to the United States, causing the oil prices to soar. And as the oil reserves were slowly getting depleted,
We are 100% know free energy actually exists. I know Nikola Tesla was working on it, but if free energy it's if the information is available to the public, then the whole war narrative, the U.S. attacks the Middle East for oil, all this narrative disappears if actually there's free energy in the world. Like And that makes like whole war seem like meaningless. Like it was always for control. It was always for like control information and control of masses. Always like to keep us divided. We want 100% of free energy actually existed
It resulted in
and still exists today in some maybe some United States military bases or something.
corporations going bankrupt one after another. The car demand dropped to an all-time low. Even though alternative fuel sources were being pushed hard, Stanley wanted a foolproof solution that will eradicate the use of oil once and for all, making it possible for the country's economy to not be dependent on the oil supply. His solution to it was the hydrogen car. You see, Stanley realized that he could harness hydrogen by splitting atoms of water through the process of electrolysis into its basic forms, oxygen and hydrogen. And since hydrogen was combustible, it would be used to power the car, while fresh oxygen would be released through the exhaust, essentially powering an automobile by water. It was a miracle, and after a few more months of
But like, how do you have the energy to perform the hydrolysis in the first place? That's what I'm skeptical about. Like, how does this even work?
tinkering, Stanley had a fully running buggy that was powered by water. People flocked from all over the country to see how this miracle could potentially resurrect the American economy, even showing it
If it's like a battery, then it's basically like an electric car. Like,
to skeptics like Professor Michael Langton, the Dean of Engineering at Mary College in London, who for the longest time claimed that it wasn't possible until he saw Stanley Meyer's creation.
or maybe he's in possession of some some kind of like a advanced technology that's not real to the public. Some kind of old world technology. Like that would be also like an alternative conclusion. Like maybe he's supposed to have some kind of technology. Maybe he's this dude's well tied to the NASA military. Maybe he has possessing some kind of advanced technology. That may be the case too.
Well, it wasn't just the world that was watching Stanley
I like to believe this is true, but I'm also highly skeptical also.
Meyer and his water-powered car zip about using only water. Other people were watching as well. Through his efforts, Stanley was slowly rising up to be one of science's upcoming stars. That was until 1996. That was the year everything seemed to have gone wrong for Stanley. Allegations started to rise up that the hydrogen-powered car was a hoax and was all a ploy to funnel money out of investors, leading to Meyer being slapped with countless lawsuits. Meyer was eventually dragged to court, where his water-fueled car was examined and taken apart by 3 expert witnesses, who then went on to testify in court that there was nothing revolutionary about the fuel cell at all, claiming that it lacked the necessary science to actually power a working car. To quote one of the witnesses, creating hydrogen with simple electrolysis is nothing new. Being deemed as illegitimate, this was probably the biggest hit for Meyer, and when the court decided that Meyer repay all his investors, it really shut him down. The sudden lack of funding meant he had to stop all development. This was a huge blow to Meyer. As he was on the verge of bankruptcy, his patents were picked off him one by one in a final attempt to stay afloat. Being the person that he
Yeah, these kinds of things actually like move forward to the conclusion that this car actually existed and was like a threat to the establishment. When there's like a heavy like Kafka-esque process of like everything the judicial system's against you. These types of things actually make me believe what he claims he actually have that technology. Like there is a car that runs on water.
was, Stanley never once caved in and still continued to trudge along in an attempt to independently develop his water-powered car. Now operating from his garage, things were at an all-time low, and little by little,
Bro, imagine the world if we can have this and just strolling around like in town. Like imagine the technology. Like imagine the ease of life if we have this. If we can like power our car just with basic water from the home. Don't have to go to a petrol station. Don't have to go to an electric charging station. Like take the little tap water and just fire up the car. Like damn, if it existed, like I wanted to be so true. Like so in the future, they can come with this kind of technology. Like, but I'm also super skeptical because there's countless footage of him explaining his cars in details. Like, why didn't like any establishment take it down or whatsoever?
the resources dried up. Stanley and his brother Stefan continued to lobby for investors to fund his research, but due to the court order, nobody took up his offer. Until one day, when an anonymous phone call came in at the Meyer residence, with someone on the other end saying that they were big fans of Meyer's work and would like to arrange a meeting to discuss a potential investment. The Meyer brothers immediately jumped at the opportunity, and the meeting was set. 21st of March, 1998 was the fateful day. Story goes that the Meyer brothers arrived early at the restaurant where they met with two Belgian investors. Allegedly, Stanley ordered cranberry juice, and upon toasting to the closing of a deal, Stanley grabbed his neck and ran out of the restaurant to the car park where he violently vomited before yelling, "They poisoned me." And that was it. Stanley passed away.
Yeah, they got his ass. Like, you can see his story has many parallels to Nikola Tesla. Also, like, there's a lot of doubts about his death too. Like, whose free energy is a threat to establishment, and he's against the system also. Like, it's so sad, you know, we're living in a world where like technological advancements are like taboo or like threat to the establishment.
Leaving behind whatever was left of his patents, as well as his water-powered car. Even though Stanley's brother Stefan was offered multiple deals to buy out the water-powered car countless times by governments and mysterious and anonymous parties, he turned them all down in respect for his late brother. And 2 weeks after the offer was declined, Stanley Meyer's garage was broken into and the water-powered car stolen and was never seen again. Well, the official statement released by the authorities was that Stanley Meyer died from a cerebral aneurysm, but unofficially, things did not really line up. Many, including Stanley's brother, came forward saying that the symptoms that were being shown on that day did not line up with a brain aneurysm. Furthermore, it was
Brain aneurysm? Come on, they couldn't come up with a better lie.
later revealed that the two Belgian investors that the Meyers met with became untraceable, and the identification that they went by simply did not exist, leading to speculation that something more sinister was going on behind the scenes. It's easy to understand the suspicion. There were billions to be made, and the titans of industry have always opposed competition from the common man. Even if it'd save humanity as we know it, they'd rather protect their own fortunes through shady backroom deals. And for the most part, this strategy has stood the test of time. Bloomberg analysts estimate that by 2048, over 62% of America's wealth will belong to its wealthiest 1%. And that would crush the
I think like this fact is like it's true right now. Like, I think like every single wealth belongs to the 1%. Like,
previous all-time high of 51%.
this is not a conspiracy theory anymore.
And that
It is the
record was
truth.
set in 1928, just a year before the Great Depression. In the next 25 years, America's median annual income is estimated to rise just 0.3%. So if you fall somewhere in the upper middle, don't hold your breath waiting for a life jacket. Because even during periods of collapse or stagnancy, elite members of society protect themselves from major fallout. They can get even richer because they have connections in private markets we can't even access. Luckily, today's sponsor Masterworks is disrupting
Okay, let's.
millions in net returns to governments is not. And now, back to the video. A water-powered car is a very fascinating story, but if we take a look at the science for a little bit, the problem with hydrogen cars and why they are not being mass-produced is due to the fact that in conventional electrolysis, more energy is actually required to split the atoms as compared to the amount of energy that will be released in the process of making this source
Or he may have some possession of like some advanced technology. That can also be the case.
of energy highly inefficient. Where is the initial energy going to come from? But this is all based on the assumption that Stanley Meyer's fuel cell was running off conventional electrolysis and does not violate the first and second laws of thermodynamics. But this would probably align very well with the fact that many initial investors of his program would be outraged as Stanley Meyer claimed that his car could run for miles on a gallon of water. The other alternative explanation was that perhaps Stanley Meyer did really have a fuel cell that was revolutionary and there were people out there to get him. Well, it is no secret that big oil is a gigantic industry that makes a lot of money for a lot of powerful people. Just put yourselves in their shoes for a little bit and say someone comes up with an invention that could
And I don't also like believe like, you know, we're running out of fossil fuels. That's also another lie they purport. Like, we're not running out of fossil fuels. Like, there's like billions of unexplored ores for oil. Like, this is just lies put by the mainstream to make us, you know, afraid.
potentially be the downfall of the empire that you own. How would you feel? It is no secret that throughout the course of development, Stanley Meyer was approached by countless people to outright buy out his patent and his prototype. Now this is probably just speculation, but what if some of these people were sent by big oil giants to buy out the idea with the sole purpose of shelving it, so that there would be essentially no threat to the big oil industry? And eventually, time and time again, after countless rejections, they discredited him and eventually took him out of the equation entirely. After all, in Stanley Meyer's defense, there are many who witnessed Meyer's water-powered car in action, driving up and down along the streets. And unless Stanley found a way to fool the people who came into close contact with his car, the only option we are really left with is that Stanley Meyer's car really did work. Now, the mysterious circumstances of Stanley Meyer's death is an intriguing story that left many questions unanswered. But with many witnesses saying that there was in fact a real water-powered car on the streets,
Yeah, you don't go to that mysterious death circumstances without actually being like a threat to establishment. Like, I believe he had something like revolutionary.
at one point, to the man who invented the water-powered car. Well,
Lazy, like, if this thing actually hits the streets, Do I believe this kind of technology existed? My final verdict is yes, I do believe. Like, I like to believe this technology existed, but I think he's not like fully transparent about what is the technology they use for powering this monstrosity of this car, like that runs on water. Like, what is the technology that's powering? I believe he's not transparent on that, and I do believe like you know this kind of technology actually exists, and it'll make the whole narrative of oil like seem useless as fuck. So that's about it.